The Morning Show with Ken Lundberg on WSJM.
8:12, it's the WSJM Morning Show. Good morning, I'm Ken Lundberg. Here with me in the studio this morning, Kristen Box, Superintendent of St. Joseph Public Schools. We'll get news from the Bear Den in a moment. But first off, let's talk with Zach East, United Way of Southwest Michigan.
Why would you want to do that?
Well, because you're amazing, Zach. We appreciate you.
Very nice, Ken. I'll leave you your cash by the
Thank
the desk.
Thank you.
For those compliments.
The tip jar is on top of the piano.
Absolutely.
All right, so Zach East, United Way of Southwest Michigan. You're telling me here that it's the last week for Rake a Difference volunteers.
It is, if you can believe it.
Man.
And, I know that, part of it is, fall crept up on us and then it didn't feel like fall.
Yeah.
And it still almost doesn't look like fall in some places because there hasn't actually been some falling leaves.
Right.
But those leaves will be there as we get closer to our November date for Rake a Difference, which the date at the moment is escaping me. So I'm going to stall and get to the website.
Okay.
Thursday, November 13th is the date.
Okay.
So you might say, hey, Zach, why would you close registration?
Hey, Zach, why would you close a registration?
It was a hypothetical, rhetorical, whatever.
All right.
No, it's partially because the volunteer impact team that we have of Maria and Morgan and Debbie spend basically an entire month taking all the volunteers that have registered, which is over 1,000.
That's
it's usually like 1,300, and they go matching where those folks can go, how much time they have, what sort of team they have assembled, and what that team was interested and able to do. Because some of those volunteers are going the full gamut of bringing leaf blowers, and they're going to do gutters. So they've got to look at all of those integral pieces of what those volunteers said they would do and match them with houses and seniors who have, different levels of need.
That makes sense.
It does take, and it's, you probably might say, well, there's probably some AI for that. Not at the moment. No, this is an entirely human operation.
He knew what I was thinking.
I know where you're going,
all right,
Ken.
fine.
Because this is just one of those things where, you could probably put a lot of stuff in a spreadsheet and ask it to do some matching. But this is where the real human touch of coming in and making sure that if a senior tells you they have this, and this, we always assume maybe just a little bit more, for example, and make sure that we have maybe a little more coverage on some of those areas. The team that puts the stuff together, they are just rock stars. I love working with these people every day. And I'm not just saying that because they're giving me a tip jar's worth of things. No, they really, truly care about this event. They care about helping the volunteers. They work so many hours just helping get the volunteers and the seniors signed up. I mean, we just have an exceptional staff, much less all of these volunteers who are really interested in being part of this great event for Rake a Difference.
And they're still taking volunteers this week. When is the official cutoff for volunteer teams, volunteer individuals?
So technically, it's the end of the day, Friday.
Okay.
And so what I would do if you're hearing this right now and you're like, okay, I'm not sure if I can field a team. I don't know how long, how much time I can devote that day on November 13th. I don't know how many other people just yet. You do have, of course, 4-ish days to have that discussion with people around you. And even if you can loosely figure out how much time and who you have involved, that will help us make sure that you get registered, which you can do at rakeadifference.com.
Okay.
Very simply go on over there. There's a huge website page full of 2 sections, one for seniors, one for volunteers. You can actually pick by county where you'd like to go. You could live and work in Berrien County, but perhaps want to volunteer in a county like Cass or Van Buren that has seniors, but maybe doesn't have as many volunteers. We want to get those seniors serviced. So we would love it if some folks are willing to do a little bit of traveling, and your employer might be, super willing to let you, some of them, use company vehicles.
Absolutely.
Some of them use materials and supplies from their own
It's a great team building effort.
It is.
Yeah, and you feel good about it.
Absolutely. We have whole church groups. We have schools. We everybody.
Yeah.
There's tons of people who volunteer for this. But in particular, Southwest Michigan's organizations and businesses really come out for this. That's part of the reason why we've been able to do this for 15 years is honestly because we have a lot of great employers and community members and municipalities who all say yes to making sure that Southwest Michigan seniors are well represented.
Okay.
And taken care of.
So what do you need?
I need what I really need.
Besides a winning Mega Millions ticket.
Which I would love to share with everybody. What we really need is folks to, again, make that, stop for a moment today, even if you've got 10 minutes to yourself. Take that 10 minutes and think for 5 of those 10 minutes about whether or not you can volunteer and make the commitment at rakeadifference.com. And again, even if it's like 2 or 3 hours of the day, because you got a full day of other stuff to do, that's okay. Those 2 or 3 hours are important to one senior at one house somewhere. And that prevents us from having to honestly tell a senior, you're on the wait list and we couldn't get you serviced. We don't want to do that.
Yeah.
In fact, the United Way staff often goes out the next week and tries to pretty much clean up for the wait list folks. So those folks do get taken care of, but we don't want to have to do that if we can help it. So.
Yeah. Well, a lot of good people have already volunteered, but you still need some more volunteers. So if you want to do it, get a team. You can do it by yourself. You can meet new people. Mm-hmm. They'll match you up with a team. Or if you have a team, maybe an employee engagement opportunity, all you have to do is go to their website. Website once again, Zach?
Rakeadifference.com.
That's super simple. Rakeadifference.com. Zach East, United Way of Southwest Michigan. Thanks for coming in today.
Yeah. By the way, I want to say
one more thing?
One more quick thing. So last
week, the meter's running. We'll keep charging you.
Yeah. Before you and I popped the mic on, you mentioned there was a fire in just down the street from the United Way office on Archer, which actually is a street I used to live on.
Yeah.
And that's one of those situations where even though United Way is not the agency that goes out and does the work on the ground, we mobilize agencies to come together to help, people who have questions. So, for example, that particular family just maybe didn't know the route to getting help for that house fire. We connected them with our partners at the Red Cross and other organizations through 211. I basically sat through about a half-hour conversation with someone at 211 to get these connections together.
Nice.
Those are the kinds of things that when you donate to United Way, we're able to do for residents directly is get them connected with all of the partner agencies that we work with, including the Red Cross for disaster work, emergency shelter, and many more, food, and many more things that happen in a serious situation like a house fire.
Yeah.
And it doesn't have to be just at that location or just for that family. It could be an entire mass situation that occurs too.
Yeah.
We deal with all of those kinds of things and helping bring those organizations together. I feel like we were in another one of our finest moments last week where people came around and asked, who can help? And we directed everybody where they needed to go and got the right information together to get that family what they needed.
That's amazing.
That's what we love to do.
Yeah, the power of United Way of Southwest Michigan. No, thank you for bringing that point forward, because that fire happened in the late afternoon. The fire calls went out sometime around 4 o'clock in the afternoon.
Yep.
And you're thinking, I know I'm going to go home and put my head on my pillow tonight. They had no idea where they would go after that fire. So thanks for helping coordinate that.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Zach East, United Way of Southwest Michigan. Rake a Difference volunteers. Go to rakeadifference.com and sign up today. We'll talk with Kristen Box, Superintendent of St. Joseph Public Schools. News from the Bear Den is coming up next.